What is something you can no longer enjoy due to a bad experience? Any pre-prepared food with any kind of shellfish. When I was 8 I had a bowl of cream of crab soup that didn't have a piece of shell removed. Had rectal bleeding and minor surgery for a small hole. Never gonna trust it again. After the first sentence, I expected to read that it wasn't fresh and gave you the runs. But this is much worse. This absolutely blows my mind as a crab-picking East Virginian. I've eaten so much crab shell by accident and never thought anything of it. Guess I'll be more careful now. Apple juice. Spent too much time in hospitals growing up and every meal was served with apple juice. Same. I used to love apple juice but hospitals just ruined it for me. I got to have 2 more procedures this year and I hope they don't shove a pink cup of it in my face immediately after I wake up. Why don't they just stick with plain old water? I always drink a Sprite after surgeries to get rid of that horrible cotton mouth anesthetic it gives you, but I never drink Sprite any other time. One day, I just happened to get a Sprite because I didn't want caffeine and I swear it tasted like anesthesia. I just associate the 2 tastes with each other now. Jägermeister. Had a really bad experience once. If I even just smell black licorice my mouth will start to salivate like I'm going to vomit Exorcist style everywhere. Yup. 2006 Jaeger bombs. I get this with Sambuca. Bad experiences with it at university and just the smell of it makes me feel ill. Was nasty when I worked at a pub and had to serve it to people. Orange Gatorade. That's my go-to flu or food poisoning drink. It ruins it for me outside of that. Yellow Gatorade is my health potion of choice. Yellow Gatorade for me. That's my colonoscopy drink. Chili. One night I ate it for dinner and later threw it up in bed. To this day I don't know my reasoning but in my drowsy state I decided to just go back to sleep and I woke up laying in a mix of vomit, chunks of meat, and beans. Forbidden breakfast. Cliff jumping. Bit part of my tongue off because I accidentally had my mouth open after realizing I was making a beeline towards a large rock. Thankfully I missed it by about 2 to 3 feet, but that nub of my tongue did not survive. Luckily it grew back because the chip was barely small enough to where it could heal. Extremely lucky things didn't end up worse for me that day, but you can rest assured I'm never doing that again. It sounds like biting your tongue is a relatively good injury considering what could have happened. Jumping on trampolines, just because I tore my ACL 3 times. Jesus Christ. Please stay the hell away from trampolines. I swear I almost broke my neck on a trampoline once. That's probably a little dramatic lol but I remember falling off the trampoline and I hit the ground head first. I couldn't move and my whole body was buzzing from the neck down but I was able to get up eventually. I used to love chicken tikka. An ex-coworker went through a period of not washing for several days at a time and the smell was really close to chicken tikka. The smell of chicken tikka now makes me feel sick. The only solution is to kill and eat your former coworker. This is only slightly related but when I was younger I had $1 to spend and the individual string cheeses were 10 for $1 so obviously I had to stock up on exactly 10. Well I had them all picked out and was finishing up when this one lady just tripped the meanest ass next to me. Those string cheeses sat for a while because I couldn't eat them without thinking about that lady's rectal raspberry she blew at me. The sea. I used to love swimming all day but one day I almost drowned when I was a kid. It was beaver the same afterwards. I guess in a way it's nice that in the midst of horrible crippling pain people still seek out some beauty. Who knows, maybe for some people that helped enough that they walked away instead of being another body found. Please never tell me which spots. Hot dogs. 15-hour flight. 3 days of food poisoning. I cannot eat hot dogs or plain food under any circumstance. A hot dog on a plane has bad idea written all over it. Omelets. I ate one while somewhat nauseous as a 6-year-old, immediately had to be sick. Now I can't even handle the scent of them. Eggo waffles. Ate them every morning before late elementary and middle school. I was never a morning person, so shoving frozen waffles covered in butter and maple syrup at 6 a.m. while horribly underslept was never enjoyable. And now I can't eat them because I flash back to the general feeling of dread from every morning. I can still feel the knots in my stomach. And now I can't eat them because I flash back to the general feeling of dread from every morning. I can still feel the knots in my stomach. That's why I don't like the smell of coffee, makes me think of getting up both for school, as well as a terrible job I had for a while. Strawberry Pop-Tarts. That's the only thing we had besides MREs on an outpost in Afghanistan for a month. I can't look at one without feeling sick. But jalapeno cheese is still the shit. Me with the brown sugar ones. Same story. Maz. Those. Or famous Amos cookies. I can still down rip it though. Eating bananas. Me and my friend were at lunch and as he bit into his banana it crunched. He looked at it and the center of the banana was infected with a red crunchy fungus. This ruined bananas for me. Hey, I just wanted you to know I hated reading this. Pretty sure it's just ruined bananas for me, too. Roller coasters with loops but specially untamed at Canopy Lake Park. Went on it 3 years ago and leaned forward on the loop. The momentum caused me to hit my head on the shoulder harness and black out for a few seconds. The concussion after that was brutal. I almost fell out of a looped coaster when I was young and tiny, so I get this. Had to physically hold myself in because the restraint bars weren't tight enough. I remember going on the corkscrew coaster they had at Canopy when I was younger and getting my head bounced like a pinball between the overhead restraints. Still loved it though. Apple cider. Drank too much once and threw up. Whenever I drank apple cider after that point it makes me feel nauseous as I can never forget the taste. Grim stuff. Same story, but vanilla vodka at prom. Luckily, most everyone agrees that vanilla vodka is shit, so doesn't impact me much. Playing the violin. I was in 6th grade and just started to learn the violin. My family didn't make much but my mom saved some money to rent a violin for me. I go to the class and the teacher was under the impression that I knew the basics, which I didn't. I did take a class before this one but I didn't learn much from it, probably cause I was a crazy kid. So I try to tell the teacher that I have no idea where the notes on the violin are but he just didn't get it. Then we get a quiz where we have to play the scale and one by one each student plays it and he remarks after each one, "Good job A+." Now it's my turn. I tried my best but I couldn't do it. My teacher said well, that was not good and continued on. Needless to say I joined choir the next day. That's awful. What an asshole of a teacher. Domino's pizza. I got a mouthful of clumped hair when I bit into a slice. I hate hair in my food. It's one of my gross out factors that will kill my appetite. With that pizza, I brushed it off the best I could because I was starving and grabbed another slice. Mouthful of hair again. I had to pick long strands of hair out of my teeth. No more Domino's. It was probably an isolated incident, but now my brain equates Domino's with hairy pizza and I can't order from them anymore. It was probably an isolated incident. Sadly, it isn't. I can't tell you how many times I have specifically told them to add extra hair, only to have them mix up the order and end up giving me some random person's hairless pizza. I once found a dead yellow jacket in a bag of sour gummy watermelon slices. Found a cockroach in my Burger King of my home country, Cochabamba, Bolivia. There the health regulations are not as good as here in the US, so I couldn't do much, but that did pretty much make me hate Burger King. Taco soup. This lady made it for us but found out later she has horrible cooking habits like cross-contaminating cooked chicken and shredding it on the same board you had it raw, or using long expired taco seasoning and who knows what else. I got food poisoning and puked it all up. The horrible smell I can just think about and get nauseated. Thankfully I can still eat regular tacos, but taco seasoning outside of actual tacos I cannot do. To be fair, any type of seasoning that consists of just mixed herbs and spices won't go bad in the sense that it will make you ill, it's just the flavors diminish over time. What exactly is taco soup? I've never seen that. Any type of food that looks like it should be soft or mushy, mashed potatoes, because too many times I've taken a bite and been met with something not soft or mushy hiding inside. Seriously, it makes my heart race just thinking about it. I feel this with meatballs or nuggets because I've found cartilage in them before. Now I have to mush them before attempting to eat because even cutting them up could yield tiny sized bits. I love mashed potatoes. I can't imagine this happening to me, that'd be horrible. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.